Now that my book is out, The Matthew Challenge, I thought I'd try and walk through it to some extent here on YouTube in what I'll call Matthew Minutes. So here's our first Matthew Minute. To kick off, I wanted to highlight a demand that Jesus made twice toward the church people of his own day. It's found in both Matthew 9 and Matthew 12. And in those scenes, Jesus insists that church people of his day, that he says, go and learn what this means. Go and learn that I desire mercy, not sacrifice. So clearly, his concern for the church people of his day is that they were prioritizing sacrifice over mercy, and they were getting it backwards. He said, go learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. Each time when we see this interaction take place, it's because the church folk are sort of ticked off with Jesus. Church folk see Jesus breaking all their rules, even rules they felt the Bible insisted upon. And now, anybody who's been around enough of these type of folks know that the Bible has rules, and those rules are meant to keep us righteous, right? To keep us pure, and to keep us in right standing with God, keep us righteous. And if we follow those rules, then we will be self-righteous. Get the idea? And what they're seeing is that Jesus is breaking all those rules, endangering his own purity, his own righteousness. And so as they see Jesus breaking all their church rules, the things they were told to do, that Jesus risked becoming unclean, impure, and unrighteous. And so they got ticked off at Jesus. And as they were getting ticked off at Jesus, his response was always the same. Look, people, just go and learn what this means. Go and learn, I desire mercy, not sacrifice. Now, what did that have to do with these people getting ticked off about Jesus breaking their rules about righteousness, about keeping it clean before God, right? And keeping themselves clean before God? What was triggering his response? So the first thing that's important to note here is that he says, I desire mercy, not sacrifice. But it's important to note that mercy is sacrificial. In fact, mercy is extremely sacrificial. When you're being merciful to somebody, it's because they've done you wrong, right? And you decide to be kind anyway. You decide to be merciful upon them anyway. And sometimes the wrong they've done has been directly to you even. Perhaps they've incurred a debt with you, and you've decided to let it go, to forgive the debt, the infraction, whatever it happens to be. And so that's what it means to have mercy on somebody. And it is sacrificial. Now, here's the catch. It is self-sacrificial. In the case of mercy, you, the innocent party, are paying the debt of the guilty party. So you are being self-sacrificial. You're giving up your right to what that person owes you, whether it's an apology, a new house, whatever, okay? And you're deciding to be merciful on those people. So you're letting their guilt off and you're taking it upon yourself. So it's extremely difficult. It means you pay the debt for the one who incurred it. Mercy is expensive, folks. It has a cost, and it will cost you. It won't cost them. It won't cost the guilty. It will cost you, the innocent. So Jesus is saying, go and learn what this means. I prefer self-sacrifice, self-sacrificial giving for the indebted one more than I prefer sacrifice. So, things like that, it may mean providing health care to someone who refuses to work, for example. Maybe it means allowing an alien to get a job in your country. Maybe that job might even be the job that rightfully belongs to you, and it's wrong, it's unfair, it's how, but it's merciful to those people. It's crazy. So, it's expensive, and mercy is always self-sacrificial. So, now here's the newsflash, folks, is that this is actually the entire message of Christianity. It is the entire message and being of who Jesus actually was and is as a person. Taking on the debt of those who don't deserve it. It's the mercy of God. Jesus is the mercy of God. The challenge is, Jesus says, go and learn what this means. That I require mercy, which is self-sacrifice, and not sacrifice. I require sacrifice and not sacrifice. Okay, it seems weird. It seems like an oxymoron of sorts, since mercy actually is sacrifice. I desire sacrifice and not sacrifice. But back in Jesus' day, they had a system called the sacrificial system. That's what Jesus is referring to. It's how people got their own sin and dirtiness absolved. Right? It's how they would get their own righteousness. They would regain their own right standing before God. They would actually kill an innocent animal, and somehow it would make their own dirtiness disappear. So it was a sacrificial system, but it was not a self-sacrificial system. They weren't sacrificing part of themselves. They were insisting somebody else pay the debt for them. Okay? So we actually are sacrificing nothing in this system, but we gain everything. We gain a right standing before God. And as you know, most of us, especially church folk, know that we've got some kind of right standing before God. It's very important to us to have earned some kind of right standing before God. And so we try and follow the rules of the Bible. We try and follow the rules that God has given us. And yet when the rule followers find Jesus breaking those very rules, they get all ticked off. And Jesus says, you're getting it all backwards. So, church folk of that day, they wanted to be right with God. They wanted to have a right standing with God. They wanted to know that they were righteous, they call it, as they stood in front of God. And so they were doing the things necessary to make themselves righteous. And we get our term from this to be self-righteous. Okay? It's in that system, it's a righteousness that has been given to you by the innocent. In the case of the sacrificial system, it's you that's been forgiven a debt. And we did it, okay, so we could get right standing before God. I desire self-sacrifice, your self-sacrifice for the good of those who have done you wrong. I do not desire your self-righteousness as you're trying to stand before me to look good. That's what's going on here. And Jesus busts them for it. So if we can learn what this means, this one idea that he desires our self-sacrifice for others, especially those who have done us wrong, who have owed us a debt, if we can figure out that he desires that sort of self-sacrifice and not our need for our own righteousness, then I think, frankly, we've understood the entire Matthew challenge, all 236 pages of it. No need to read the book. However, if you'd like to read the book, it's on Amazon, and all proceeds are going to benefit the poor. And also, if you'd like more Matthew Minutes as I continue to produce these, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.